What's up, everyone? DJ Nubis here with you on the Malteria podcast with a new episode of Species Spotlight. This is where I go talk about my tarantula hobby collection and kind of spotlight on one particular tarantula that I have in my collection. But today I'm also going to be doing, towards the end, I'll be talking about my new pickups, which I had 7 new spiders that I got over the weekend. And I'll talk a little bit about them. I have a little bit of a video of them as well as the Feather Leg Baboon, which will be the spotlight for today. Speaking of the Feather Leg Baboon Tarantula, it's a Stromatopelma Calceatum. Like, I'm terrible at pronouncing these scientific names. It's an arboreal species, old world tarantula. It doesn't kick hairs. We've talked about this before with the old worlds versus new worlds, but the venom is significantly more for the old world, including this species. Baboons in general can have a little bit of an attitude. They're a little bit defensive. Mainly, a lot of people know the OBT, the orange bitey thing. It's all sort of part of the same class, but different species as well. I've got a couple of videos, of course. I'll have one from the Tarantula Collective kind of breaking down, like, as far as like one of the, like, the baboon, this particular baboon is one of the more venomous ones out there. But, you know, at the same time, as I've discussed before, there's never been a record of any human dying from a tarantula bite, but it is very painful. It can be very uncomfortable and can make you sick. So obviously these type of tarantulas are made for more experienced hobbyist. You know, even though I'm still kind of green, I've gotten used to working with some of my other old worlds. So I highly, again, recommend watching the Tarantula Collective, as well as Dave Little Beasties, who I learned a lot from, and I've got a video from him as well. Like, he's rehousing his feather leg, so we'll watch that as well. But the thing to do know is these are not beginner spiders. Like, you do not want to be doing or messing with the spider. I don't recommend handling them. Some people will try to handle more dangerous spiders. It's that they want to do. It's their own risk and a risk of the spider, but do not do that. I do not encourage that at all. Like, it's fine to be in the hobby, take care of them, admire them, love them. They are beautiful species of spiders and stuff that we deal with on this channel, as well as other ones. So but there is care that needs to be taken in consideration when being in the hobby. And, you know, always look out and research which spiders are best for beginners and stuff like that. It's the same way I did. I started out with like pumpkin patch, pink toe, stripe knee. So I kept it pretty easy early, and then I worked my way up into more intermediate and more masterful type spiders that I mess with now. So and I'm still learning. So, like, you still have to be careful, but it's all about the process and just making sure you're researching their habitat, enclosure setups, how to kind of transfer from one enclosure to another. I've got a lot of spiderlings from the ones I got over the weekend. Not really spiderlings, but like little juvies, small juvies. And it's important to know that when they start to get older, and if they're old world, that you still have to be much more careful. Like when they're young, they don't really care about biting you too much. They're just going to kind of run, which most spiders in general, even the most venomous ones, will rather fly away and flight, rather than fight. But if you corner them, they do get feisty. So let's take out this first video from the Tarantula Collective about the Feather Leg Baboon.
Most dangerous tarantula on my list today is the Stromatopelma Calceatum, also known as the Feather Leg Baboon. This old world Asian arboreal is very defensive if you disturb it. When I drop a cricket in its enclosure, it sometimes will snatch it before I even realize it. With lightning fast speeds and medically significant venom, you gotta be careful around this T. After being bit by this species, people reported immediately feeling a burning sensation at the location of the bite, followed by severe swelling, numbness all the way up their arm, chest pains, tightness of the chest, difficulty breathing. Some people even experienced high fever, vomiting, muscle cramps in their legs, as well as stiff joints throughout their body. Now, again,
I will say this too before we finish with him is that the thing to remember is, like, even though there's never been a recorded death from a tarantula bite, like, if you have bad health, or if, like in the case for me, like I have high blood pressure, so I wouldn't know how my body would react to a bite from a spider like this. So it's also why I'd have to be, like, I'm 55, so I had to be more careful about how I deal with my spiders, like, because I don't know if I'm going to have an allergic reaction. Like some people, like from what he describes here, the most common symptoms are what he describes as the fever, the pain and whatnot. But the thing is, like, if you're somebody that, say you're allergic to bee stings, you may have like a more violent reaction to a bite from a spider like this. So even though there's never been a recorded death from one, don't ever assume that it can never happen, because if you're somebody who just ends up having a very bad reaction to a bite from a spider like this, it could be fatal. Especially for younger kids, we have animals, like, so if one of these got out and the cat got bit, it would probably kill the cat. Like, that's how bad it could be. Now, usually cats and dogs have pretty good counter mechanisms to bites from bugs, but you just never know. And so it's good always to practice safety and have precautions when dealing with spiders like this, just because you just never know how you're going to react to a bite. That's why even when it came to my New World spiders, NECA was always asking me, like, well, I want to hold Pinky because, she's docile and not really one to really bite. She might poop on you, but the reality is, even if a pink toe bites you, if you're somebody that's allergic to any kind of bug bites, like bees and stuff, like, you might have a bad reaction, even if it's not really potent venom. Just the bite itself could be an issue for you. So I always advise against handling any kind of spiders, no matter how nice or cute they might look, or even docile. I have two of my biggest spiders, the curly hair and my Mexican redleg, are, very docile, very docile. I've even been tempted to kind of hold them, but again, not knowing how I'd react if I did, could hurt me, like, even though they're not venomous on that level as these guys. So the other thing is, twice now I've seen where this particular spider has been known to be, they say it's an aggressive spider. It's been my understanding that generally tarantulas are not aggressive. I mean, maybe aside from the funnel web, maybe, but from what I understand, most spiders are defensive. And so, like, even now with my feather leg, even though it's only about probably that big right now, she would rather run and hide than to do anything when I open up her enclosure. So obviously, if she gets bigger, it might change her demeanor. She might feel more confident in being aggressive. But I have an OBT. He's an asshole. But, like, again, if I open up his enclosure, he's running into his hide. He doesn't really want to spend time bothering me. It's only when I have to, like, check on him if I'm bothering him, or you know, if I got my little poker around the opening of his tunnel, he gets pissy, like, you know, and any creature would. Is like, dude, leave me the fuck alone, you know. So twice now they said this particular species is aggressive. I don't know what that really means. I think it's probably more of a defensive thing rather than aggressive. But clearly, for those that have these spiders, maybe you can tell me in the comments what your experience is with them. If you have older ones or whatever, just let me know what your thoughts are on that.
Venom is not life-threatening, but it is extremely painful. And I read online, it's definitely not a species I ever want to be bitten by. I definitely wouldn't suggest this for beginners out there or even intermediates, but once you have years of experience dealing with fast arboreals and old world tarantulas with medically significant venom, then maybe consider adding this to your collection because it is a uniquely gorgeous tarantula.
So yeah, so obviously, you know, he gives a great breakdown of the spider itself. And now we're going to watch the video by Dave's Little Beasties where he's transferring his to a different enclosure. He's, you know, he has nice setups and stuff like that. I envy how he does his setups. Like, I can never get him to look quite as good, but Dave is the one that really got me back into the hobby. I used to have I think it was a Chilean rose years ago, and I kept it for a while. I did all right, but compared to how I kept it back then when I didn't have the knowledge that I do now watching Dave, it's a world difference of how they're handled and what you can do with their enclosures. That's one thing that Neko always kind of likes about what I do. She appreciates I take the time to set them up. Now, it might drive her crazy because I have so many spiders now. Like, but she's very supportive in that. She knows that I care about the hobby. She knows that I like doing this. But I've told her now, like, because I'm up to 27 different species now, I have no more room. I can't get any more. As much as I like to say down the road, I'd like to get like a Goliath bird eater, like, unless I have a bigger room to work with, it's just I can't do it. So I am definitely at my limitations with what I've got to work with. But I think with 27 different species, and plus some of them are male, they may have dying off. My tiger rump died off not too long ago. It just happens with the males. They don't live as long as the females. So as the males die off, you know, I might replace them with either the same species or maybe different. I know my OBT is a male. He's going to end up passing at some point. So when he does, I'll be on the lookout probably for a female. I had a female at one point, beautifully big, just unfortunately got impacted and I couldn't save it from that. So she ended up dying, sadly. But at the same time, like, I have like 5 or 6 males of different species. So whether or not I replace them with try to replace them with a female, because it's really my goal ultimately. Like, even with my young ones now, I don't know what they are yet because they haven't matured yet. So it's always, you know, 50-50 obviously. But for the ones I have definite males of now, either I'll just not replace them, or if I do, I want to try to get a female version of what they are, or I just start over and say, hey, get another young one, see how it turns out, and hopefully that works out well. But let's check out Dave's Little Beasties as he's transferring his Feather Leg Baboon to the new enclosure.
We are going to tuck that in there. I still think that might just be a little bit too big. We'll see. We'll see how it gets on. We might end up changing that. But if we can get a successful pairing out of this enclosure, that will be good. I'll be happy with that. And if we have to rehouse her again afterwards, it's not such a big issue. It's not a big problem. Right then, we're going to get our trusty old paintbrush. Now these guys, as we said, are very, very quick when they want to be. And they have got that significant venom. So if you can come round, can you see in here? If I tilt that a little bit, you can see inside there. You can see how the bark has fallen over. She's made a web tube down in here. Now you'll see the web is connected to the sides. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that away, because she will, in theory, want to stay in
her tube,
inside this piece of web. So we can pull this piece of bark out with her in it. That's the idea. That's what we're going to try. and hopefully she will feel secure enough to stay in there. So we can see her feet. She's actually facing the bottom. Don't know if you, yeah, you can't actually see in there, can you?
No.
All right. So what we're going to do, we'll see. We'll see how it gets on. We'll meet you. Brush. She's made a web tube. This piece of. There you go.
I was just going to say, you know, you can see Dave's a lot more comfortable with how he handles the spiders, and he doesn't mind putting his hand like right above that thing. So like the thing that I always worry about, obviously, if you put your hand over where the tube is of the spider, it could dart out. Like you could have a spider that darts out, then it makes it very risky. Now, one thing Dave always states is to be calm, because he's had spiders run up on him before. And if you freak out, you could hurt the spider by it falling, or it could bite you as a defensive mechanism. But he's so comfortable like with how he deals with these spiders. He's been doing this for like over 30 years. So he's very experienced with handling them. Me, even though I probably would grab the end, down at the end there with the bark and pull it out, I would still probably have like my pointer like kind of blocking the entrance in case the spider tried to dart out so that it didn't run up my arm, because like I don't have that kind of experience, and sometimes just the mere shock of a spider running up on you. I've had my pink toe do it back when I had Danny Frejo, and even though he's not venomous, like it was a shock. Like I did not expect him to jump like he did, and so obviously he meant no harm at all. He was just seeing my hand as probably like a branch and ran up it, and there was no issues, but it was still startling because you're not expecting it. And because for me, I told people I do have arachnophobia. I do have a fear of spiders, but what I love about being in this hobby is that it's been able to let me kind of get over that and work and understand that, they're not the enemy. They're not, horrible creatures. They have a purpose. And, especially when it comes to tarantulas, they're just so beautiful that it's a really fun thing to watch and learn how to take care of them, how they feed, like their behavioral stuff. So it's really quite an amazing thing.
She is inside there.
You got a torch, please.
Try and move up a little further.
That's absolutely fantastic. Got her bum to us at the moment. Be careful. Here she comes. What we're doing, we are just very, very gently. She's actually had a molt, so she's increased in size somewhat. All right. Just watch my fingers there because I can't quite feel where is the bark. Now, while she's got the security of this web, we are going to go around the side here.
Okay.
While she's got the security of the web, she is going to be well behaved. As soon as we come outside of that, that is when it will all change. Right. So, lost the light a bit, haven't we?
It's all right. I can see well enough.
Right. Here we go. So we're just going to tickle her out. Here she comes. I'm going to see if I can get her to go up on there. Now you must be very, very careful with these spiders.
Mm-hmm.
They really can be quite the handful. If she was to shoot up this now, we would just drop this piece of wood. As you can see there, she is absolutely stunning. Now look, you see she wants to hide away. So as soon as we take her...
And part of that is because tarantulas, like most spiders, they have their own scent. So like one thing you may not know is when you go to put a tarantula into a new enclosure, let's say like my tiger rump that passed away, I had to clean out the old webbing and stuff because spiders don't like other spiders' webbing. They like their own. That's their own scent. And so the reason why a spider like this or like any other tarantula will try to go back into the tube is because one, they really don't know where they are outside of that. Like they think that initially they're still in the same spot they were before. So for it to go into a new home, this is one reason why tarantulas, when they get introduced to a new enclosure, they kind of explore to figure out where they are. And then they decide after a while, like, okay, this is my space to work in. Now I got to find out how I'm going to create a new home, basically, which is this tube thing that it's created. But in the meantime, it wants to hide back in there because it's familiar territory. It won't automatically dart away. So it wants to go back into the tube because it feels safe and secure there.
Hiding place away. This is where we are then in danger of getting a bite. So we need to be very, very careful. We're going to maintain contact. We don't want to go in underneath that piece of bark if we can help it. There we go. See, we're moving the bark away at the same time.
There you go, baby doll.
There you go. Look at that. That was really, really nice.
And there you go. So, yeah, so that's obviously a much more adult than what I have. Mine is much younger and a little bit more browner, but you see that one has kind of like almost like a emerald green color a little bit in there. So it's very beautiful looking spider. Let me see. So from my video, obviously you're going to see a little bit of my spider, which is, I called it Sedna. And you're going to see a little bit. The funny thing is you won't see her long because she's very, very skittish. So like, if I even like, sometimes if I think in the case of this video, I was speaking too loud and the vibration, she felt it and she immediately went running back down her stick to her little hidey hole. And now usually after I've had the lights off overnight and I come in and I turn the lights on, she'll be on the side of the glass, you know, like in honey mode or whatever. But it is very interesting that she seems to feel vibrations a lot easier and she'll just start running to her little tube. But also in this video, I'm going to show you real quickly some of the new spiders I got, but some of them are so small that it's kind of hard to see them and some are hiding already because I just moved them when I took this video. But what I'll do is once the video is done, I'll go and I'll start going through the different spider species. I'll show you pictures of what they're going to look like when they're older, so you have a good idea of what I'm going to have when they get to adults. So, but first I'll show you a little bit of the feather leg that's in my feather leg with music. And there she is. And there is Sedna. You can run on that stick there. Oh, very skittish. Right there, like behind this, the name and everything is her tube. So I don't really like that she's planted herself there. I had this bark where she was at initially. I thought she was going to go behind there and create a home, but no, she decided to do it right here at the front. So it's going to be tricky when I go to try to move her, but I think what I'll do is, and I hope that it works out well, if I have to move her to a larger one, because I'm not sure her full size, what her full size will be, but for sure I'll be like opening this side door and then going through the top and then kind of just doing what Dave did to kind of like gently coax her out of that tube until she can crawl into the other one. Or at least if she crawls out and goes like back to the back of the enclosure, I can at least get a catch cup or something. But I'll remove like the water dish and the other things first, so that it's just so she won't have anywhere else to kind of like run up and do it, even though she can run up the side of the wall with no problem. For a baboon, but actually most spiders are, to be honest. what's the word? They'd rather flight or fight. Obviously, they can get defensive. You know, pretty much any spider. Here's a little look at Sapphire, the Brazilian blue. He's a male. He's been pretty active lately. I think he's been looking for a female as usual, but I'm not a breeder, so. This is the black female earth tiger, one of the new ones I got. It's back there, just ate a cricket earlier. Let's see. Don't know if you'll be able to see. Yeah, here he is. Brazilian white knee, small one that I got. So let's see. Don't know if you can see. There's the rose gray I got a few weeks ago, eating. And of course, some of the other ones I got new aren't quite out right now, but got an electric blue. But it's pretty much been hiding back there in that log since I got home. And then, of course, haven't seen my the other earth tiger I got. I've got like 3 earth tigers that I got. So the Akaya, of course, the black femur, and then I have a purple earth tiger that's currently small and kind of back there in a corner somewhere. But yeah. So yeah, I didn't show quite everything that I got because some of them are hard to see or hiding. But I'll go ahead and go through the list and show you what they're going to look like when they're older and bigger and stuff like that. So I'll give you a little bit of a breakdown of what I've got. So to start with, I have my Brazilian white knee tarantula. It's a terrestrial New World. This will make the 3rd Brazilian spider I have. I have the Brazilian blue as well as the Brazilian black. Both of those are male. This one's obviously that I have as a youngster, so it hasn't matured yet to either one, so it's still young. But yeah, they're obviously located in Brazil. These are ones also like when Kevin Lambert and I did our review for Tarantulas, the Deadly Cargo, I was kind of looking around at the different spiders they were using in that film. I believe that this was one of them that they were using, as well as the Mexican red leg and stuff like that. So, because they're generally more docile spiders. This is a New World, so it doesn't have the significant venom, but it does kick hairs, and you have to be careful with that a little bit, especially with the eyes and stuff like that. But if you get it on your skin, make sure you wash because it's itchy. I learned that lesson through my Brazilian black, and it was not a pleasant experience. So even if it wasn't like a painful bite, the itching that those hairs cause is annoying as fuck. So yeah, definitely don't want that to happen if you are in the spider keeping business. Next up, this one's a spider that a lot of people are really enjoying now. They'd like to get it because it's just a very popular spood. And that's the Stromatopelma Calceatum, which is the green bottle blue. This is what it's going to look like when it's older. Right now, it's really, really tiny. It's another New World. It's a terrestrial semi-arboreal, so it will do a little bit of both, where it's from the ground as well as in the trees and stuff. It's from northern Venezuela. Very cool spider. The females, I always talked about before, females can live 10 to 15 years while the males are like 2 to 4. But yeah, this one's one of these spiders that a lot of people really like because of the different colorations and stuff like that it has. So decided to take a whirl and get myself one, and pretty happy about that. Next up, and this one's one that I've talked about before. I knew I was going to get one, but not one that I'm planning on having a community with, and that is the Socotra Island Blue Baboon. It's also known as the Monoceptopus balfouri, and these are the ones that we've talked about where they can live as a commune. So you can have up to like 30 to 50 of these, and they can get along, live together, hunt together. If you ever want to see a fun video with Dave's Little Beasties, he had a follower who sent him a commune of 30 or so of them because they couldn't take care of it anymore. So they just gave it to Dave, and Dave was happy to receive it. And as Dave's trying to move them from the one enclosure that they were into the bigger one to give them space, he kept having them run outside the enclosure. He had to kind of wrangle them back in because they're so fast. They are so fast, and you have to be careful with that. But if you see, the colors are just gorgeous on these spiders. But again, this is an old world. The first two that I showed you were new worlds. This one is an old world. Have to be careful. Does have significant venom. Got to be careful with that, without a doubt. All right. And then the black femur urticating. Now, this one, when I was moving it to the other enclosure, I was going to film this, but because I was dealing with like a lot of old worlds, I wanted to be safer, so I didn't do it because, again, still kind of learning myself how to make sure to transfer these over without any issues and hiccups and stuff like that. So, but this one, not horrible, but again, as I was trying to like coax her out, because she is a female, this one was a guaranteed female that I bought, she got defensive. She did not want to give up ground. She did not want to leave her enclosure that she was in to come up. But again, very cool coloring for this one, black, even though mine's a little bit more gray right now because it's younger. But they come from Nepal. They get to about 4 to 5 inches when they're large. I couldn't find too much information right offhand for these particular spiders. I do know they're old world for sure. But yeah, I just thought the coloration was cool. And again, I've always kind of wanted the urticating. I wanted the purple one, which I got the most. But I saw these other two and I thought, okay, well, this is cool. And I got a pretty good deal for what I spent. So yeah. Next up is another urticating. This is the Achaea urticating. And again, just very cool coloring. I love the tiger stripes on this one. This one right now has been spending a lot of time underground. I saw it only once when it was getting to know its enclosure, but it eventually went back down, and haven't really seen it. I did put crickets in there for it, so I'm assuming it probably ate them. Have not seen it hunt yet, so but I got some order of crickets coming in a couple days that I'll go and put some more stuff in there and feed them. I know some of my older spiders I have are gonna molt and stuff like that. Like my Mexican red leg, she's so huge. Like I can't give her any more food. She's got to molt at some point. She's starting to lose hair, so I know she's gonna molt soon. But yeah, just this one was very cool. Really like the coloration of it. It's an arboreal, so it does climb. It's a fast growing species, so that's kind of good. Sometimes you get spiders that, are slow growers and, they take a while. But this is one that's very fast. It's from Indonesia, like West Kalimantan province. I'm not even going to worry about trying to pronounce the scientific name. It's just too damn fucking hard. So I won't be doing that. Not here. Okay, so then, yeah. The next one I got was one of my favorites that I've wanted for a while. Its nickname is the Hattie Hattie. It's the purple urticating. These spiders are very cool. People have seen that I got my Pocotheria metallica, which has like similar color schemes, but that one's a pokey, and that's an ornamental. This one is urticating. It's also from Southeast Asia, old world species. Obviously, it's arboreal. Got to be careful with these. Obviously, like I said, whenever you're dealing with these type of spiders, the venom is significant. So once it gets older, like right now, it's really tiny, so it's not a big threat. But as it gets older, just got to be careful with them. But you can just tell just how beautiful they are when they get older. And I just love the bluish and almost semi-purple color on it. It's gorgeous looking spider. So I really, really love that a lot. And then finally, yet another old world. This one's the electric blue urticating. So actually, this is another urticating. I did not know this. I thought it was just electric blue, but that's kind of cool that it's also an urticating. So I ended up getting 4 urticators. not really by design, just kind of happened that way, but you'll see it here. It's got the electric blue on the legs, which gives it its name. This is from Thailand, this particular tarantula. It's fossorial, so it spends its time in the ground, but it does have a tendency to climb occasionally. You know, as you can see, it's on this like piece of bark. So, you know, hunts like from its burrow and all that stuff. So, but yeah, the coloring is just amazing on this. And so again, another unique species. But that's pretty much the new ones that I got, like, you know. And so as they get older, and as you, if you're familiar with my series, I always spot like one of the ones in my group. So definitely we'll spotlight these at some point. If you know, I mean, obviously if one dies, I have no control over that, but I might try to do some of my males in the next few episodes, just because they do have a more limited time of how they can survive. I've already done the OBT, but I have some other males that I want to do that, you know, should they pass, it'd be unfortunate not to do a spotlight on them. Because I have a couple I may not replace. I might go with a different breed altogether at that point, but we'll just see what happens. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. How do you feel about my pickups? How do you feel about the feather leg baboon? Let me know your thoughts on this. I appreciate the support as always. Like and subscribe to the Military Radio Podcast. Enjoy the rest of your day and take care of yourselves and be good to your spiders.
You see me before you die.